last year. I was a part of it, as you saw from the commercial. They also had Bolo and Canadian and Fabian.
I was there, but they didn't put me in the commercial, which I think is kind of...
Far and away the worst stats on the team in terms of kills. But again, when you get a support player like that, you don't necessarily need to rack them up. Impact kills were the name of the game and for it. Good, but there's a Goyo canister underneath that red hatch. This is excellent. I love the way OXG is responding to this. They have an advantage, and guess what they're doing? They're boxing out Spacestation.
They absolutely are, Parker. They've really stalled this out. Gomez finds one more, leading Falcons into a 1v4 where he likely will be stuffed out, caught in the elevator. They know exactly where he's at. They all line up, and Gomez will hit the final shot to remove Falcons and start things strong. Forgiven.
Thrust more frustration onto this poor man.
Wow.
Second round in a row where the entry for Spacestation has seemingly caught OXG off guard. It was Forrest in round number 1. Now it's Ashen to pick apart Gomez. Gomez, just based on numbers and impact, was the most important player on Oxygen in the previous. So Diaz is not really able to come to much assistance.
I'm shocked Yaga's still alive, though. I mean, he's wasted a good amount of time. They've been really focused on him.
They can keep 1 or 2 players on him because of their advantage, and Ashen and Fultz get very active. Yaga was the last impediment. He was spotted so early in the round, and they let him merit. So you got to isolate the players off-site. That's Forrest's job as he sees one now on the stairs. And Malusi will back up for the time being. Newers dies shortly thereafter. That's clear passage for Forrest to get in. He loses Benjamaster at his side to Diaz, and now it's time for Gomez to get active. A little bit too late. Diaz the only active gun at the moment unless Hat puts his shield on his back, which he has. Firing away, but both of them sustaining some damage. And as the defuse plant goes down, Ashen's coverage is perfect. J90 gets the exit kill in Space Station once. Why not a second time?
So this is a really interesting setup. OXG are roaming with 4 different players, and they've actually castled off the garage door because of that. They don't want to get a late round push, but they're just going for gold, Parker.
And why not go for broke? There was a Goyo shield to stop them last time. Yaga's had some strips torn through him as Ashen desperately fires away. Hat and Diaz have both been dropped. Ashen looking for more as he had lost J90. Time for Space Station because of that early burst of action. Still a minute left on the clock. Oh my. Newers reacting off of that intel of the goo mine, and Ashen punishes him. Now it's Fultz. He wasn't expecting Gomez inside of elevator. Ashen knows his position is there. Forrest absorbing an awful lot of damage, and they managed to get both of the picks.
Somebody is waiting for that opportunity, but they've hunkered in with Castle and Azami, and they're just going to wait for SSG to make the move.
This is an easy bomb site to get aggressive on, though, right? You can get really active inside of trading and get active over.
They want to work picks. They're expecting some aggression from Auction, but it's not coming. Some smoke bolts coming through, but it's just a bait. Here we go from Hat.
Hat's first kill. Yaga dies, still searching for his first kill, as now Newers looks towards those CEO windows. Ashen, the only casualty for Space Station up to this point, and with 30 seconds left, IQ maybe isn't the operator whose gadget you need the most at this point. There goes a fire arrow from Forrest. Benja still yet to use a Rotero drone. I don't know if it's just they need him elsewhere, but that utility could crack open this bomb site. Fultz will now look for something over towards conference room. He sees the black mirror. J90 dies at the hands of Hat, and they're waiting for a pop-up, but Space Station have completely stalled out. They're running right into these defenders and losing the duel.
Focused on Oxygen than what we're used to seeing from Yog Dog.
The walls have been set as Ashen gets the very first pick. SSG striking first. They were successful the last time they took a crack at this bomb site. They had a very different lineup, and now Fultz greets Gomez as he blind peeks the stairs. Very limited information for Oxygen. They're trying to get aggressive. It worked in the previous round, as Redeemer had asked them to do. This time, both Newers and Gomez lose their engagements and put Oxygen in a very tough spot with not a lot of time left. This bomb site does tend to work in your favor, so you can gain something from just sitting back, but if SSG have the right tools at their disposal, they can trample you very quickly. Another falls now at the hands of Fultz as he's just running riot, and it's Diaz to try and stop a flawless round. Out goes the Nitro Cell, but he has no visibility. Fultz will have no problem getting the diffuser down. 2 kills, and the objective is excellent for the former world champion. Diaz turning over towards cash side, sees J90. The money explodes, so does J90's body. But Diaz is in no real position to affect the objective at the moment. J90 with a heaping amount of disrespect. And Forrest will finish the round. Flames will keep them at bay for the time being. 40 seconds means 20 will remain on the clock. When Oxygen will have safe passage to the site. Newers had taken quite a bit of damage earlier on. Hat pulverizing Fultz. These Echo Drone coordinated bits are not working. Oxygen with 3 unanswered kills. Strategically, SSG seemed so sound. And yet it's Forrest and J90 looking at what was planned and saying, where did we go wrong? Gomez is in, getting diffuser down. Forrest tries to emerge from red. He's punished. J90 after all the typing that he did. Well, he disrespects himself and his team.
Tough round sometimes when you're playing those roles. I'm sure Forrest knows that very well. Yaga finds the opening pick. A nice shot, headshot straight on the Benja with the...
I don't know if that's a graphical glitch with Gomez, by the way. It looked like he engaged his gadget, but it's not ticking down.
Well, he's not moving.
Yes, he activated it. You also didn't see the bar show up on the screen.
Yeah. Yaga's planting.
Yeah, and they just continue to narrow down these players. Gomez, hilariously, the only one to die so far on the side of OXG. But I think they'll be pretty happy with that one. Jesse, Fultz, and Ashen now trapped in a position where they're going to expose themselves to these 4 remaining Oxygen players, and just like that, the round is over. I guess a contingency plan, if you want to say that. Redundancies. They've got Yokai drones, they've got Nitro cells. Yaga, who'd been patiently waiting for a kill, finds it. He gets yet another at the top of main stairs. Ashen is on the board, but Hat gives the advantage right back to OXG. As Newers is now down, the numbers for Oxygen are good. Fultz is the last man standing. As Amira, you've got a great rate of fire, but you've got a small magazine. Fultz will...
Staring at the open area players, but they've still got Benja instead of Trump here.
Ashen inside of open area trying to keep these players from OXG at bay. Newers is so mechanically gifted. He gets 1 pick. He knows the Ela is in close range. The wall explodes and Newers finishes the reload just in time to kill Benjamaster. Goodness gracious, son, buy yourself a lottery ticket because you just got incredibly lucky. J90 manages to escape. I don't think they want to feed a 3rd player to Newers at this rate, but the Sens of Diaz should die at the hands of J90. That's exactly what happens. And now Jack will finally get the last word against Newers, who was softened up earlier on. This roam right now from Spacestation, it started off weak, but it has picked up very quickly. Gomez now flummoxed by the position of Fultz. Yaga had a slow start to this game, 0-5. 5 kills, 1 death since. They'll get Newers up. That's a gun in hand to join Yaga, and it immediately helps. Yaga can play a bit more aggressive. Fultz dies because of it. Forrest and J90, the last 2 standing. All of this action happening, none of it on the actual bomb site, Jesse.
A heavy roam, and J90, what a hero he's been this round. He's going to need to find a few more. Forrest has actually retreated back towards server. That's not going to be an expected position. As he hears those beepers, he might get a free pick onto the player coming down server stairs.
Yaga no. Forrest peeks and misses his shot. Yaga full control now with diffuser in hand. What a round for him, and Newers single-handedly carrying his team forward. J90 is stellar at wasting time. Doesn't exactly have the kit to deal with long-range engagements, but 2 players at close range? Ooh boy, Ella, eat your heart out. Newers will now drop with the bees swarming him. Yaga in to get diffuser down. J90, position given away. There wasn't much of Newers. J90 struggled to get him before. He'll now go after Yaga, and the Yog Dog pops up, and he does it all this round.
Turn around and flank into square, which is going to really disrupt this push coming up from OXG. All of their players are set up around the server stair, around Printer, and now in through the cafeteria door.
Yaga taking down Benjamaster, the hero from the previous round. He's itching for an angle onto Forrest. He knows he's there. Forrest will lose some of the safety of that wall, and now Yaga gets ever closer. 3 players from Space Station in the ground. The bodies aren't cold yet, but they're stacked on top of one another. Fultz to clutch out a 1v5. He makes it a 1v4 very quickly. Yaga with diffuser yet again. 9 kills for Yaga. He's been sensational, but he didn't do it alone.
Oxygen's permaban on this map. Not perma, but it's their most common for sure. And then I would expect an Azami or Kaij to come out next from SSG, and they will be tried and true. The Azami taken off the board.
A missed opportunity from Newers. That R4C maybe just a bit too unwieldy through those rails. Yaga on the board very early. It took him 6 rounds to get his first kill on Bank. He's already got one quickly. Benja will fire back. Down goes Newers. That boogie drone will sit and wait, haunt them, as it could be just tearing through that floor, but will not. Benja an opportunity to now go above with 30 seconds left.
Yeah, I mean, 30 seconds, you're gonna go top floor if you're Benja. Surely OXG have to just ignore that and hit the site. Hat in a plant spot, and these smoke grenades will cover.
3 players from OXG to overlook. Make that 2 now. As Yaga dies, then Hat falls shortly thereafter. Diaz and Gomez still standing, hot on the heels of these remaining defenders who will have to win in a slugfight. 6-shooter in hand for Forrest. Down goes Diaz. Now it's Gomez to pick up the kit, but he's being red-pinged, and J9O will shut him down. Jack did some talking in chat in the previous map.
Over by meeting, by the way. Bomb site is beneath them. It's inside a kitchen, so this is such an interesting setup. Here comes Yaga. He does find Ashton, so that man count keeps getting worse. Benja, big one on the Hat. That's the big flank that will now tilt things in favor of SSG.
Benja and Forrest both on 3 kills, leading the way on this team. Forrest was towards the top of the scoreboard on Bank, which is something that's a bit abnormal with the way that he plays and the role that he plays. Could be a worrying sign. It means that the other players aren't doing the job. Forrest will add 1 more kill to his tally.
To his gadget.
Yeah.
Failing to go off there. No failures from Benjamaster, though. Brilliant shot through the floorboards onto the head of Gomez.
I don't think they can mute jam our actual ability to play this game, though. I don't think it extends that far. Benjamaster been playing off of these mirror windows that have been set down in the previous round, and now here too, as he doesn't want to deal with that IT wall. He could have ejected the black mirror, but he doesn't. He tried to wander back to the bomb site, but Newers actually caught him dead to rights. Of course, there's a vaultable area on in created by the Selmas. So safer passage towards the bomb site. A botched fight by Ashen, as Hat doesn't just get 1 but 2. Ashen's inability to get the kill results in 2 from Hat.
They're in control. That got droned out not too long ago. Oxygen know it's important to get these early picks, and Hat will find the first.
All 3 of his kills coming in the last minute and a half, by the way. Yaga's logic bombs will ring out, and maybe he got a bit too overeager with that information. Ashen punishes him for that. Benja, lurking on the Soulless, was the one who's in the ground. Newers will now join Yaga. A Nitro cell from Forrest connects Hat, so 3 kills over the last. As it looks like their flame in this round is going to be snuffed out. Gomez picked back up as Diaz is now dropped. They're not in the bomb sites. They can't go for a defuse just yet. There will need to be a few steps ahead of them. Gomez trying to get through the doorway, which honestly might as well be the most impossible task you've seen. It only looks like a couple inches, but caught by a flank. It allows roamers to do so well. 10 people are alive, Jesse, and Hat is getting the diffuser down. By the way, as we vamp, we are halfway through this round. Newers with the very first leadoff pick, and there will be chaos inside of the server. As now the clash pops up, Forrest trying to slow down these attackers. Oxygen have scrambled out of this position as Oxygen just walked in, planted the kid inside a kitchen, and then walked out. Forrest is on the diffuser. Everybody is alive. OXG is scrambling to stop this, but nobody will get there in time. And just as they caught SSG off guard, Spacestation will do the same.
We've seen Oxygen stall out a little bit. It's clearly going to be a connector-focused push. Forrest inside of Electrical is a huge problem they've got to solve.
Benjamaster goes down, and SSG sure look like they're going to lose the plot on this round. 1 kill away from a flawless, and they'll get it. Hat in particular, my God, 3 kills. This might be a quick one from Spacestation, by the way. They lost Benjamaster, but they show no fear trying to haul ass into the bomb site. Ashen, well, he's been sat down. So this push from SSG is already slowly falling apart. Open up that wall from EXO towards the bomb site, and now more work is being done on that main floor. Oh, okay. Hat's luck ran out, Jesse. He had a great previous round. He looked like he was going to go for some more. Fultz doesn't sustain a single point of damage as we hit the 1 minute to go mark. And Fultz finds another. Collapses on Newers as he tries through the rotate. Main floor control should be very firmly in the hands of Space Station. They go about opening up sight lines to make life a little bit less comfortable for the OXG defenders.
Smart to go back upstairs to kind of regain that man advantage. Now they'll commit to the plant, but the shield, no, not quite.
They wanted the Blackbeard on the side of OXG when they were on attack. Now they have to deal with it as defenders, and they handle it quite well. Diaz only has 1 kill so far, so they'll need a big impact round from him. Yaga with 5. Not exactly leading this team. Fultz taking an awful lot of damage. There's Diaz on the board to go positive. No! He's a target dummy against J90. Valcam in sight, give information. And now from above, Yaga with a super shorty in hand will wait an agonizingly long period of time to open this up. Still getting pinged away at J90 going for the engagement and will now go back. Vision has been robbed, but Yaga will go for the rotate through the hatch. J90 attempted the plant right as it hit 0-0.
Raptors still somewhat being held. Newers is on the opposite side of this wall, but they could pressure it.
Sky was about to say, this gunfight from Fultz is really going to set the tempo for this next round. Because if he dies, that means somebody from OXG can now move up with a bit more confidence. Somebody from SSG might have to take up that same space on Raptors. If they don't have time to get over there, then the next person in IT is going to be even a more precarious spot. That's J90 who's going to try to fight his way out here. If J90 cannot catch one of these OXG players looking the wrong way, trouble will brew for Spacestation. Benjamaster's the one up on Raptors. Gomez thinks he is the all clear. He's wrong, and he pays for it dearly with his life. J90 desperate for some information. Hat comes alive. J90 does get the cross a bit too late, but Benja and J90 are slaughtering everybody. Diaz picked up kill number 2 in the previous round. He'll have to double his tally or wait out 10 of the longest seconds of his life. The 2 players from Spacestation double up. And
they're taking a bit more control than that, so it seems like they might go for a different style of plans. Hold on, though, Faltz, giving the defuse kit straight into the arms of Gomez.
That's a bad predicament to be in, but a vault over from Benja as he continues to be hot from his previous round. He'll immediately use a logic bomb in response. The only person that it's affected, by the way, is Yaga. 3 players from OXG within a short run of that mute jammer to silence the calls. Second logic bomb will now go off. Benja has used all of his gadgetry and will find an opportunity to go into the site. The mute of Hat was so distracted by the Blackbeard of Forest that it allowed Benja to puncture over top of the site. Now the follow-up. J90 sees the backside of Yaga. Yaga didn't really have full information. Jack looking for a second. Newers gets seated by Benja. Another 3K, but it doesn't stop there. A 4th will be had. The shield, and there's really very little place for him to go. Forrest is a bit slow. Gomez hits 2. How does Forrest allow him to get away? Things have gone from bad to worse. And Diaz is now up as an insurance policy. OXG just turned lemons into the sweetest lemonade you could think of. J90 is the last one standing for Spacestation. Dead? He's gonna give it the old college try. He's had multiple opportunities to see Diaz, by the way. He was right next to him on the wall, and then there was that punch hole there too that I don't think either of them really saw. Diaz finally gets his man.
Going against the Scorpion, you are in a really awkward situation, and Forrest will run in now.
Disoriented, no real vision. EMP still afflicting Hat, so he's lost his reticle. That's pretty damning for the Scorpion. Gomez might as well be dead, but he still has a gun in hand. Diaz and Hat buried very quickly. Both teams losing 2. Plenty of time for either team to make a graceful recovery. Forrest amidst the smoke will get the diffuser at the halfway point. Fultz and J90 to cover. Newers absorbing an awful lot of damage. They get Forrest before the diffuser can be planted. Now one of the 2 remaining players from SSG will need to recover it, or just go for kills. Why not? Yaga punished. It's all up to Gomez. Spacestation hoping that this time they can stick the landing. Gomez is going to die at the hands of Fultz in just a second. No, I'm completely wrong. Now it's up to Jack to clutch. Gomez sees him, but the slow walk from J90 is too good.
Based on the results of this game and W7M later today.
And it's not just this group that's going to be in action, though, as the operator bands roll in. We're going to be paying a disproportionate amount of interest to our attention to this particular matchup. Can you myself? There are a lot of good trophies out there in all ecosystems, but I got a soft spot for ours. Gomez taking down J90 Oxygen, using this bomb site to full effectiveness. Hat taking an awful lot of damage from Fultz, but still surviving. Fultz will find the remainder of Hat. In go those flashes, caught by Magnets. Ashen slaying Newers as he presses on up. Slow crawl of the Banshee will prevent Benja from taking the space he needs. Gomez finds a second for his troubles, and now it's Forrest to join the party. Over towards Vending, Yaga in on the action. Gomez finds yet another kill. Ashen dies at the hands of none other than Oxygen seems to be getting a bit antsy. Finally, SSG learns how to use Rotero drones. NitroCell will get Ashen and almost Fultz as well. He's been down 2. An excellent start from Oxygen is now Benjamaster falters. 2 that remain for Spacestation as Fultz might be irretrievable. J90 dies. Forrest right next to Fultz, but he's got to worry about what lays in wait behind him. Fultz crawling to safety. Toxic Babe goes out. Nobody swinging on Forrest. They will allow him to pick up Fultz. Hat does the job with the SMG-11, and Fultz will wait for one of the 5 players to show themselves. Gomez will... that I would kind of, not necessarily raise an eyebrow at, but I'd be a bit concerned with. You saw the flank upstairs of the Fenrir of Yaga. He's got their attention. All the while, the rest of Space Station seems quite eager to get into the bomb site. And that's exactly what Forrest has done. NitroCell goes off, but it's already been shot away and had another kill for OXG. SSG on the board. Fultz trying his best to keep his teammates alive. And all hell will break loose as 7 players still remain in the server and the diffuser goes down, shortening the time for this to end. OXG being picked apart, in part by Forrest, who as the Monty isn't necessarily getting kills, but this time around, he'll do just that. Diaz wandering, trying to find the other 2 players of SSG who are nowhere near the kill. Why not? Let Forrest sit on the diffuser. You've got to tackle him on the Monty at some point. Attempt to the defuse planned, and Fultz walks in to get the kill. Forrest.
2 traditional smokes, I should say, in the pocket of J90, and actually 2 more from Forrest. Here comes the Utsu.
They're loving this sense, and I mean, why not? It's working. Yaga had aerial coverage, and he manages to cut down Benjamaster. The Dane still searching for a kill. J90 falters, and Newers capitalizes off of that. Oxygen with 2 opening picks. While there are 5 OXG players still upright, they've got to be concerned with this clock. How good is the lockout from Space Station? Fultz gets siege timinged and misses an early opportunity and an easy kill over towards Spiral. But good news, you got Forrest on the flank. 2 from SSG remain and plenty of time to hop on the case. But you got to take out these last 2 players. It's all up to Fultz as Ashen has been dropped. Not a player from OXG is on the diffuser. Now Gomez will go. Fultz held at bay. Oxygen will have no problem getting this one. And the defenders continue their winning ways. This round, they have done what has happened in every single round, which is kill Benjamaster. He has no impact on the round. 0-5 for the Buck. Ashen will answer back on to Newers.
Teammates are not in that bad of a spot. Full admin control now being held by SSG. Inside the hallway, and the Sens comes out once again.
Forrest needed the go-ahead to get over towards Projector. Fultz dies. Forrest was able to move him off of that spot with a grenade. One good enough kill, the other not good enough in the slightest. Full racket right now. You're not cooking the nade, you're just waiting to toss it. Into the corner it goes, beautifully flushed out. They were expecting another over towards Spiral. J90 anticipating this move. The Goyo will try for it, but Gomez realizes that with the clock being what it is, he doesn't need to get necessarily active. Now's the time to go. NitroCell from Diaz, and he pulls double duty. Out goes the explosive. Goes that duo, so goes OXG or M80, or whichever team they choose to play on. It is nice to see a duo be as successful as that. Yeah, it's been OXG all the way down.
Oxygen have the single worst defensive conversion. That's not been a problem so far.
What? Benja! Where did your brain go? The Azami's an enemy, not a friend. Avoid a weakness. Fultz said it in a previous round that there was just no real room. We were looking for a way in, we couldn't find it. Forrest just might get it. Down onto the Bandit, next one up is the Pulse. It sure looked like he got cheated out of a headshot, but Ashen is there for add.
The last 2 years, the SI champions were knocked down from the upper bracket to the lower bracket by Vitality. In the first round. Or sorry, Wolves in the first round.
I was gonna say, same colors, same region that they represent.
Same players.
Yes. This is just SSG playing with their food. Gomez the only kill at the arm. I think that was actually a smoke that will go on as well. They let the diffuser get planted. And now in the post plant, they will challenge these remaining 4 players. Yaga with his own sidearm out. He's all alone, but there have been 2 downs on the side of SSG. Fulton J9O still up, but J9O reads the retake. And SSG, they win their very first defense.
OXG wins.
The Capital will be a great answer to the Jaeger, by the way. Newers dies at the hands of Ashen. That was a rematch of what we saw a couple rounds before. Ashen did exactly that, getting the first opening pick for SSG all game, and now SSG's been a bit more comfortable in making space. Diaz on the board next, and the numbers go back to even. This round has flown by. We're at the 1 minute mark.
Diaz so patient, knows another position. Logic bomb, does it force some movement? Nope. Benja just turns off his phone. Ashen's still taking fights too over by Piano. He will get down to Yogg.
Down goes Ashen, as you said, had eliminating Benja Master. A terrible game for Benja, right when SSG needs him the most. He is completely vanished. J9O gives it up on yellow door. He has to go for broke. When you are at such a disadvantage, you have no choice but to take chances, because if you don't, they'll hunt you down. That's the Warden of Ashen, who can evade him for the time being. J9O tucked into a bit of a rat corner, and he easily collects the kill. There's another not far removed of Diaz, but he opts not to get too aggressive. Yaga got a kill as well on the side of OXG. So both of these teams with, I don't want to say an early kill, Jesse, because there's 45 seconds left in the round.
Feels early.
Oh my.
That's a nice second from J9O, who finds the head of Diaz. I mean, there's only 3 attackers from Auction left to get down to this execute. They don't have the fuse kit either. It's been dropped at the top of Spiral. Recovering that's got to be priority number 1.
Hat tears through Ashen, an answer back from Benja, who finds only his 2nd kill, and it comes in round number 9. J9O will play a game of keep away as Yaga now drops towards the bomb site. All this attention paid upstairs, and yet that's not where the site is, though. Trying to pull off a plant without top floor control might be a heady tale for OXG. Amidst the smoke, Fultz will mag dump. He and J9O have to go for the reload. Newers covering as Yaga pulls it off. Down goes Fultz. Sidearm is out. Yaga's been dropped too, and the death mark will go on to J9O. They know exactly where each other are, and it will be a standoff as they do battle. J9O attempting to distract, hopping onto the kit. The mark updating. Newers flushing him out of his position with nades, and the nade actually lands. My God, what an explosive end to the round. Burn though, so OXG, well, they don't want SSG to get too much motivation and get their heads back in the game. You also don't want Benjamaster to wake up. Hat thought he had an opportunity, but Fultz in the corner's not been droned out. Gomez dies as well. This one is probably curtains on OXG. Newers and Diaz last 2 alive. Not a single dent on the shiny SSG car. Newers now taking some damage. He and Diaz will tussle with these remaining players. Diaz has spent the entirety of the round outside. What do you do if you're Oxygen? I guess you just wait at this point.
Yeah, you gotta try to run at the site at this point, but they're all gonna be holding your angles with shotguns.
Fultz dodges the flash, a double jump down from yellow, and Fultz should have an easy lineup for 2. He gets knocked on over, the shotgun is there, Newers collects 1, J9O the other, shotgun misses, Diaz not able to get into sight. No matter what, that round was going in favor of SSG. It looked a little bit closer. They'll do battle again, and Newers wins it against Ashen. All the while, those logic bombs ringing out, giving more information to the remaining players of OXG as to where the 4 from Spacestation are. Benja gambles on a jump out in admin. It does not go well. It's not an ideal situation to be in. Newers, who started this off, looks for more. He can't get it. J9O shuts him down, staring all the way over towards yellow. Hat finds Force before he can scoot off. Next one up's the two-brow of J9O, but Gomez is in on the hunt as well. Fultz is last man standing, but Yaga says, not today, Junior. OXG SSG wins the North American Derby.